All the invited speaker, I welcome my co-chair, Mr. Joshi, all the delegates who have gathered over here, participants, industry leaders, and my dear students. So, in this 5 talks in this session, the time has been given different time for different speakers. First speaker, Mr. Satyadev Tiwari, will be talking on this topic, and the time is for about half an hour. Since we are going late, so I prefer that if you can conclude it in a time limit or a little shorter, so that certain questions from the audience can be addressed. Okay? So I request Dr. Tiwari to come and present his talk.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before we start, I would like to introduce our chair, Dr. V.K. Tyagi. Professor Dr. V.K. Tyagi serves as a Vice Chancellor of Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology. An esteemed academician, Professor Tyagi brings extensive expertise in teaching, research, education, and administration. He earned his BTech, MTech, and PhD in Chemical Technology from HBTU Kanpur, completing these degrees in 1984, 1986, and 1992 respectively. Professor Tyagi's distinguished career spanned 34 years at HBTI, where he served in various capacities from 1988 to 2022. He also held the position of Director at Bundelkhand Institute of Engineering and Technology, Jhansi, an autonomous institution of UP government from 2016 to 2021. Following this, he joined Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology as a professor and dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Technology for over a year, and also served as the chief proctor of the university. So welcome Dr. Tyagi on the chair. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Mr. Joshi. Thank you.
This introduction also was to be given, no?
Sir, it was given. Sir has given you the instruction.
Okay, fine. So we go to the slide then. Is it on?
Sir, the slide will be visible there. You just have to change the page.
So good afternoon, everyone. It's a matter of great pleasure and privilege, especially when you have done your oil technology BTech course from the same institute in 1992, and after 32 years, you are getting this huge privilege to share the dais with your professors, Professor V.K. Tyagi sir himself, and the honorable experts sitting on the dais, great veterans and experts in the audience, and I see some young, bright students, very few though, in front of me. So I take this opportunity to present you something very different. And I'm sure I will seek your attention, especially those in the rows who are a bit busy in their mobiles. I would request them to at least pay attention because it's going to be important for your health. And so far we have been discussing the use of oil technology more in the role as oleochemicals and the edible oil industry, which means more.
Hello? Hello? Let me introduce the speaker. I take 1 minute only.
Yeah.
He is Mr. Satyadev Tiwari, Managing Director, Walls Sanitary Functional Foods and Nutraceutical Private Limited. Satyadev Tiwari earned BTech in Chemical Technology from HBTI with a specialization in oil technology in 1992. He was awarded the MP Jhunjhunwala Gold Medal in 1992 by the then Governor of the UP, Shri B. Satyanarayan Reddy. He was selected from the campus by Asian Paints, and having worked for the company as a sales and service technologist in Mumbai, he went to pursue his MBA and then worked for more than 2 decades with pharma MNCs like Novartis, India, and GSK as its commercial director for the emerging markets and Asia Pacific region. A black belt in Lean Six Sigma, Satyadev has been a regular guest faculty of management institutes for the lectures in strategy, innovation, marketing, and project management. A devout believer in food as medicine and nutritional medicine, Satyadev went on to found the World Sanitas Functional Foods and Nutraceutical Private Limited in 2017 with a mission to integrate food and nutrition also into healthcare to make it holistic and harmonious for full health, full life. Thank you. Now you can continue, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Well, so I think let's dive straight into the topic. As I said that this session is going to be very different. So far we have been focusing the oil technology more in the role of oleochemicals, surfactants, cosmetic industry, जो कुछ भी कल बात कर रहे थे, विची साहब भी जो कुछ नहाए धोए साफ सुथरे लोग ऑडियंस में बैठे थे, तो उसको उसका श्रेय दिया गया था. But oil technology, again, for edible oil industry also, I think we all are quite aware. But I'm going to talk to you about usage of oil, particularly in health. और जीवन का उद्देश्य सबसे पहला तो आरोग्यम परमम सौभाग्यम और स्वास्थ्यम सर्वार्थ साधनम. I think this body being a temple is the means to achieve all the ends in life, and therefore it must be in the best, healthiest state. Not only the body, but the mind and soul too. Ayurveda's principle of health actually is not myopic or limited like we see in the Western medicine concept. So the topic that I have the honor of presenting to this very august gathering basically is about sustainable and healthy alternatives. And I have an issue here. The moment you say the word alternative, the problem is कि आप उसको विकल्प के तौर पे देख रहे हैं और विकल्प की कभी इज्जत नहीं होती. Alternative had to be the mainstream actually. And I learned from someone from Marico. So I think he had a good talk actually. He talked about, really speaking, we have to therefore focus on something which could have been in the mainstream of healthcare, probably has got relegated to as an alternative. And what I mean to say is the usage of plant-based foods and plant-based medicines actually should have been in the mainstream and not treated as an alternative. I think you might agree with me. Okay, so let's delve deeper into the plant-based oil capsules for a healthier you. I hope you got me right. I'm talking about plant-based oil capsules. Most of you might have visited the stall number 9 there. If you have missed it, please go and look for the products themselves and you will realize what we have done to oil technology. Okay, a little bit about myself, saving on the time. I will move a little faster, and as promised to sir, I will finish my talk by 1:40. And so I'll save 5 minutes for you. When we talk about the plant-based oil capsules and for your health, I am going to touch upon 3 very distinct topics. Number 1, the epidemic of diet-related chronic diseases. If I may ask you how many of you are above 40 in this room, probably the majority will raise hands because below 40 are busy somewhere else. And if I ask those people who are under 40, what do you care most about? I think health will be the last thing in their mind. Because it's like, we are abusing our body in such a way that as long as it is giving you no kicks, no issues, you just carry on like that, abusing it, okay? So therefore, I will discuss about the epidemic of diet-related chronic diseases. वो बीमारियां जो आपके भोजन के गलत तरीके से खाने ना खाने, न्यूट्रिशन को लेने ना लेने से होती है, और आपको सिखाया ये गया है कि ये एज रिलेटेड क्रॉनिक डिजीजेज हैं. साहब, आप उम्र आपकी बढ़ रही है इसलिए आपको बीमारियां हैं, ये एकदम गलत सिद्धांत है. Chronic diseases get born the way you got born. Lady born, girl child is born with the ovaries right from the birth. Is it not so? So what I mean to say is hypertension हो, diabetes हो, देखिए कुछ तो आपके जेनेटिक दोष होंगे और कुछ आपके प्रारब्ध होंगे जो कर्म फल हमको भोगना पड़ता है. ये भी एक सिद्धांत है. तो बीमारियां तो आपको मिलेंगी, लेकिन you have the choice to remain healthy throughout your life and enjoy the life. I think somebody, Dr. Doshi, I think he's sitting next to he was talking about that people want to live longer and want to also look younger, right? So I think if that is the objective is actually not that. We want to be also doing service, and okay, there are different purposes of life, but certainly there is an issue there. The second topic I will touch upon is the plant-based oil capsules for good health and well-being. United Nations Sustainable Development Goals has goal number 2 as good health and well-being for all, right? I think that's paramount. And the third thing is, I will certainly talk about the oil technology for health industry. Now, what has oil technology, this particular course has a role to advance this cause, and maybe there is a proposition from my side, and today none other than Professor V.K. Tyagi sir is there, who taught me oil technology, and I'm going to offer him actually something which he can consider to be the logo or the tagline of the oil technology course, because I will come to that soon. And Professor R.K. Trivedi sir is also in front of me. आप सबके सामने मैं जो भी कह रहा हूँ सूर्य को दिया दिखाने जैसा है, पर मुझे क्षमा करते हुए मेरी बात को बस स्नेहवश आप ग्रहण कर लीजिएगा. Number one issue, and please try to see, is something that you really relate to. And the dialogue written on the top of the slide is, and believe me, I have served 25 years in the pharmaceutical industry in Novartis, multinational company, and in GSK as the commercial director for emerging markets region. I had Philippines to Pakistan to many other countries except US, and I have sold medicines all my life. People are taking medicine as food, but I want to basically draw your attention to this concept of food is medicine. And what you see here, that despite the advent of all these newer modern medicines, there is an epidemic of diet-related chronic diseases, and 1 in every 5 deaths, 5 में से 1 मृत्यु, you can collaborate or you can correlate it to actually poor diet and nutrition. Okay? Now, look at some data. 82% of Indians, they wake up tired. Wake up tired. I'm not saying tired. They wake up tired. Okay? How about you? Okay? 70% of urban population in India is overweight. And the problem is worse in urban areas. The problem is worse in girls versus boys. 50% of the heart attacks are happening in the people below 50, or around 50, less than 50. And 1 in 9 Indians have a lifetime risk of getting cancer. और दवाइयों की खोज खूब हो रही है. सारी English medicine, Western medicine system is like, what is fundamental wrong with us? Our food system is screwed. Okay? So, and look at the other aspect. 30% इस हॉल में बैठे हुए 10 में 3 लोगों को metabolic syndrome है, हो सकता है. So, central obesity, or you may have high blood triglycerides, low HDL, high blood pressure, high blood sugar. And when we say central adiposity, the person might be appearing to be lean, but he might have lot of fat around visceral organs. Okay, so that's another risk factor. So what we are seeing is that our food, if you are not taking the food seriously, there is a shlok in, it says that pathe sati gadaha aste kim aushadh nishevanai, pathe asati gadaha tasya kim aushadh nishevanai. Means if your food is wrong, medicine is of no use. And when it is right, you don't need it. You agree with me? Right? So let's carry forward from here. And I'm going to talk to you about the great dichotomy which says that people are fed by the food industry, which pays no attention to health, and are treated by the health industry, which pays no attention to food. Kitna bada disconnect hai. And what I represent Volsante, and Volsante is basically integrating food and nutrition into healthcare. Okay? And our guiding principle is food is medicine. Ayurveda considers food as Mahabhaishajya, which means super medicine. It should be your first line of therapy. It also talks about nutritional medicine. The concept is It is not that your diabetes or blood pressure actually will get cured by taking those medicines lifelong. There might be a fundamental issue as a deficiency in your body, for example, vitamin D deficiency, vitamin B12 deficiency, and unfortunately, when you are taking long-term these medicines, the Western medicines, they actually may cause side effect, or they may give you some 1 or 2 diseases free also. For example, long-term usage of proton pump inhibitor like omeprazole, lansoprazole, pantoprazole, and all these things, it can actually vitiate your glucose metabolism, leading to diabetes later. Okay? So nutritional medicine, and our whole idea is that we are actually focusing on everything to be plant-based. So plant-based food and plant-based medicine. The topic is about sustainability, and I think plant is the way towards sustainability. I hope you agree with me. Just have a look at this picture, and what you see here, this is not the board which we have put, this is board which has been put by the Border Road Organization. And you can see the top of that mountain there in the red circle. They say that Hanuman lifted the Sanjeevani from here. And there is a, there is a gap there in that mountain, you can see. So the point I am saying is, Dronagiri Parvat in Chamoli district. Yeah? Hanumanji lifted the Sanjeevani Parvat from here. It means that the nature which has given all these diseases, the same, the vegetation, the plant, and all those, natural things which are there, they have the solution within themselves. You don't need to synthesize everything in the lab. And I now come to the second part of the discussion is, so having realized one thing, that despite the advent of newer modern medicines, the chronic diseases are on the rise. They have taken an epidemic proportion. What is the answer? Yeah? I draw your attention to the Srimad Bhagavad Gita's shlok in the 17th chapter, 8th verse, and it talks about oil technology. It says, Ayuh sattva balo balarogya sukha preeti vivardhanaha rasyaha snigdhaha sthira hridaya aharaha satvik priya. Snigdha means oleaginous. Snigdha is the property, and actually in Ayurveda, I think another speaker was talking about that oil is not bad, certainly, but then there are good fats and bad fats. We all know that, right? Like there are good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. Likewise, oil is not bad, but which oil you are using, in which form you are using, I think that makes the difference. So what it says is that these, oleaginous foods, they are proclaimed for their health benefits, and they offer huge untapped potential to serve health industry beyond food industry. My call to this team, to this people here, to the panel here is, please take oil technology into health industry. We have been into oleochemicals, we have been into the food industry for long, but oil has a tremendous potential for the benefit of the health of the people. And therefore you should visit stall number 9 to see the products yourselves. Why do we say so? Because these edible oils have bioactive compounds, and they play a significant role in oxidative stress and inflammation. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that when you cut your finger, there is a bruise there, there will be a lot of blood gushing into it. There is a body's mechanism is there to, automatically repair the tissues. That's the inflammation which is acute. But if this inflammation, like a nuclear chain reaction, gets uncontrolled in your body, you actually are getting into chronic inflammation. And if you are aging, you can apply any sort of a cream, Botox, or whatever treatment to look nice. Those wrinkles or the wrinkles on your face can be hidden for some time. The problem is how can you hide it? You can't. So the real thing is that you need to really understand that the inflammation is the root cause of our aging. So honestly, when we age, we are basically inflammaging. And there are a lot of bioactive compounds in these oils, which I think you know about, omega-3, omega-6, already ALA and LA and all that. But there are a lot of, the phenolic compounds which are present in virgin oil. Okay, I also remember that we are the people who actually gave the word hydrogenated vegetable oils. There were commercial compulsions. There were, आपको कानपुर में समोसा 5 बार तलने के लिए उस तेल का स्मोकिंग पॉइंट, स्टेबिलिटी, रैंसिडिटी सब कुछ अच्छी होनी चाहिए थी. इसके लिए we have done that. But it is not sustainable. It is not good for, forget about good for planet, good for producer, good for commerce. It is not good for you. So there is no point in discussing, ये वाली मजाक है कि you are discussing sustainability without considering what is the health effect. Even if there are 10 benefits in favor of the technology and one wrong thing in favor of your health, you are screwing it up actually. So I think we need to be extra cautious of what we are doing to improve on that. And therefore, this particular aspect is really, we are talking about that how can we bring in the control on this chronic inflammation particularly. I will take one example here. Most of you would have visited and seen this. I'm talking about the black seed Nigella sativa oil. And this can help reduce the risk of metabolic syndrome. Besides exhibiting anti-hypertensive effect, glucose control, lipid metabolism with no adverse events. A lot of people have asked me earlier that आपके पास कोई study है क्या, कोई clinical trial है क्या, right? Now there are studies of course done on that, but let us please also understand that these oils have been studied for thousands of years, practiced in our Ayurvedic system. And what we have done is, we have actually made a confluence of this tradition with technology. And what we have done is, we have actually gone and extracted these oils from this, say, black seed, turmeric, ginger, garlic, pumpkin seed, moringa. So they are different oils that are there, and they have got immense health benefits, particularly in preventing illness. Valsante's purpose is to prevent, preserve, and promote. Prevent illness, preserve wellness, and promote fitness. Now, how do you prevent illness? आज तक कोई ऐसी दवाई में वेस्टर्न मेडिसिन में नहीं है जो कि ये आप खाओ तो आपको डायबिटीज़ नहीं होगी. वो चाहते भी नहीं कि ऐसा हो. ऐसा कोई नहीं कहेगा कि आपको ये ब्लड प्रेशर नहीं होगा. वो चाहते भी नहीं कि आपका ब्लड प्रेशर ठीक रहे. तो पूरा सिस्टम कहाँ जाएगा? So, if it is in your own health benefit, it's your wisdom that you actually, when you look at this particular compound, look at the nature's blessing. Black seed has been used in our kitchens for long. Kalonji हम सब जानते हैं. Pumpkin seed, for example. Pumpkin seed is a great source of magnesium. Magnesium is a magical mineral. Magnesium की कमी से तमाम रोग होंगे आपको. विटामिन डी की कमी से रोग होंगे. बट आपको जो वेस्टर्न मेडिसिन का जो डॉक्टर है, वो आपको आपकी न्यूट्रिशनल डेफिशिएंसी को नहीं ठीक करने वाला है. वो आपको विटामिन B12 देगा, आपको मेटफॉर्मिन देगा, जिससे विटामिन B12 की डेफिशिएंसी हो जाएगी. So the point here I am saying is, these natural sources really act at the root cause. It is not symptomatic treatment. So all those who are above 40, if maybe those who are above 40 can raise their hand, the ladies can have a concession of 10 years on that. But then I know there are so many people who don't look like 40 plus, but if you are, then please be extra careful. Don't play with your health and take extra care, because you should avoid these chronic diseases. आज इसकी महामारी की तरफ फैला हुआ है. आप विटामिन डी और B12 का अगर टेस्ट कराएंगे, 80% पीपल विल हैव ए वेरी पुअर रिजल्ट ऑन दैट. या हमारे खाने पीने का तरीका बदल गया है. प्रेशर कुकर में दाल बनती है, उससे यूरिक एसिड बढ़ता है. आई मीन दैट्स अ वेरी डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट ऑल टुगेदर. कमिंग बैक टू द ऑयल, black seed oil. This was a study done in 2021. And you see 26 participants took 2.5 ml of black seed oil twice daily for 8 weeks, and the other took sunflower oil. And the finding was very clear in your systolic blood pressure, in your diastolic blood pressure, your total cholesterol, and low density lipoproteins, and your fasting blood sugar levels all were reduced. And what was increased? You found a good increase in HDL and glutathione reductase enzyme, which actually helps your redox balance, and it protects the cells from oxidative stress. So these are the studies which have been done. Forget about these studies which have been done in 2021. If you trust Ayurveda, if you trust your own legacy, I think there is no need to prove. Yes, certainly we should conduct trials, we could see the people, but then it is all well studied and documented, and these products are under Ayush license. Okay. Now, just to give you a sort of a laundry list of what is black seed oil actually does. It's an antioxidant, it's an anti-inflammatory, it's anti-diabetic, anti-hypertensive, antimicrobial, analgesic, anti-cancer, and we got studies on that. It can modulate the pathways, immunomodulatory, bronchodilative in asthma, spasmolytic. It protects your liver, it protects your kidneys, it protects your gastric health. And it is helpful in weight management. कलौंजी का तेल लोग बालों में भी लगाते हैं, so even for topical applications it is very long used. Good for skin, vitiligo, उनको सफ़ेद दाग होते हैं स्किन पे, acne, psoriasis, wound healing, kidney health, and male infertility particularly. And I think a very important topic I will touch upon very quickly, but I will also show you a list of these type of oils which you would have seen there. There is a souvenir, I think, in your bags. There is a one full page insert in that. Please go and look at it, and please take action on that. You can subscribe on it, and you can certainly become a member, and we will take care of your requirements lifelong. Being from the same institute, it is like my great honor and privilege to really be of any support for your good health and well-being. So like you see, we have, and all these are filled in capsules. Pumpkin seed oil, good for prostate. 50 साल की उम्र में 50% जिन मेल्स को प्रोस्टेट ग्लैंड होता है, जैसे वुमेन में ओवरी होती है, so you can't help it, and it will get into prostatitis, or it can lead to prostate cancer. 50% people at age of 50 will have that problem. 80% people at the age of 80 will have that problem. You will have problem in, you know about the symptoms. I need not explain that. Pumpkin seed is very well known for that. Fenugreek oil, methi, लोग डायबिटीज़ में सदियों से यूज़ कर रहे हैं, but we have actually extracted an oil for that. Likewise, ginger is like an anti-inflammatory, right? You have moringa, लोग सहजन की पत्ती और सब डंडी चबा रहे हैं बहुत, but then you can take an oil capsule directly. Turmeric, likewise garlic oil, and hing as well. Now 80% hing actually comes from Afghanistan, and maybe another 10% from Uzbekistan. So hing oil is something which is very expensive, but then we have got it very good for spasmolytic pains and all that, spasmodic pains, even for premenstrual syndromes as well for ladies. So these are the kind of packings which we have. Like all these oils have been packed into capsules, and they are available in bottles. And one very important aspect, I got another 5 minutes to conclude. A very important aspect I must talk to you about is the capsule. Friends, future is green. Sustainability has to be green, right? If you really compare the gelatin capsule versus HPMC capsule, I'm not carrying the bottle or the capsule here, but you might have seen, the capsule itself is made up of HPMC, hydroxyprotyl methyl cellulose, which is actually derived from plant. The banding on that also is plant. The gelatin capsule that we normally have been eating throughout our life, आप सबने capsule खाया होगा. Normally the gelatin is derived, it's either porcine or bovine, means या तो वो सुअर की खाल से है या तो गाय की खाल से. अब मुझे आगे कहने की ज़रूरत नहीं, ना तो ये खा सकते हैं ना तो वो खा सकते हैं, और खाते दोनों ही हैं, परवाह किसी को नहीं. But then you must know that. I think it is our consumer right to know what I am eating. Don't tell me that there is a medicine inside, but I am actually eating a cow skin capsule. स्वतंत्रता संग्राम मंगल पांडे की कहानी आप सबको याद है, कारतूस में क्या था, कहानी वहाँ से शुरू हुई थी. तो मैं ये कहता हूँ, आपको एक कंज्यूमर राइट है टू नो व्हाट यू आर ईटिंग. चॉइस आपकी है, आप खाना चाहें खाइए, कौन मना कर सकता है, बट देन यू मस्ट नो इट. नाउ जेलेटिन्स ऑल्सो कंटेन लॉट ऑफ एंडोक्राइन डिसरप्टिंग केमिकल्स. They contain phthalates. So I think there are, I'm not going point by point, but you would have seen that they are also containing plasticizers. Now these phthalates or endocrine disrupting chemicals are actually leading to infertility in males. 140 करोड़ के देश में, पता नहीं, आपको बिलीव नहीं करेंगे तो कम से कम 3.5 करोड़ कपल, उनको बच्चा नहीं होता, दे आर इनफर्टाइल. इतने बड़े देश में जहाँ आबादी की समस्या, वहाँ आबादी पैदाइश नहीं हो रही. And this is increasing trend. Actually, we are also expanding into Japan. We are launching these products more in the US, because on the Amazon US, there is a huge market there. Americans respect and value it much more than Indians, because they know that what is the value, and we are oblivious about it. We are launching Volsante Japan with a particular view because Japanese are going to be extinct. I mean, it's a very sad thing. One of the best races, they are declining in population. So my point is that we should look at the capsule material also. So this is plant-based HPMC capsule and all these oils are there. And lastly,
Yes, Mr. Tiwari, can you conclude shortly?
sir?
Please conclude shortly. Conclude your talk.
Yeah. So I just have 2-3 minutes. Yeah. Okay, lastly, the last slide of this discussion is about the technological challenges in extraction of these oils. And my call to the people, audience here, the experts and the students here is that, we really need to include a couple of these challenges in extracting this black seed oil in terms of their oxidative stability, their high acid or peroxide values, the heat damage which happens, or the low oil yield particularly. Okay, there are different other techniques like supercritical extraction using carbon dioxide and all that. So I think this is another aspect which I'm not delving deeper, but that's your area of focus and expertise. And lastly, this is for your kind attention that I have tried to summarize actually the application of oil industry in 4 different industries. So Snigdham being oil, Snigdham Bhoj Bhaishajyam, Upadanam Suprasadanam. What it means is that the oil industry or oil technology actually is for Bhoj means food, Bhaishajya means medicine, Upadanam means fuel, and Suprasadhan basically means all your cosmetics part. So what 4 industries are covered in this? Food industry, health industry, fuel industry, and the cosmetics industry. I think this is something which really summarizes the use of oil technology. And Shrameyo Param Tapa is our slogan for the HBTI, and this is something which I have for oil technology. And ladies and gentlemen, the future is green. Let's move towards these plant-based alternatives, and they are good for consumers, good for farmers, good for planet. And let's add a new chapter in oil technology, bringing in the health industry into focus here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tiwari. Now, I invite 1 or 2 quick questions from the audience. If they have any query, any question related to the topic, they can ask. If not, then we can move to the next. Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Sir, your talks are very informative.
Sorry?
Talks are very informative, and I'm thankful to you. You also heard some good slokas from Gita also, free में.
Mic is not
I
on.
can't hear you actually.
We
Sorry.
heard good slokas from Gita also. Gita,
Gita.
free में मिल गया. And the matter perhaps going towards Ayurveda. Now, as per Ayurveda, we have 3 types of humors, like Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Okay? How you select all these medicinal capsules obtained from trusted herbs for applying towards the affected persons related to Vata, Pitta, and Kapha?
Actually, this question is out of syllabus for me, but I still take it, and it's really interesting point. If I have heard you right, sir, I could hear, but what I can make sense out of it is, he is asking Vat, Pitta, Kapha, जो दोषों होते, जो आयुर्वेद में दोष होते हैं, actually स्निग्ध का अर्थ ही यही होता है. Oleaginous means the property which is acting on the Vata dosh. So if you have Vata dosh, I think the Ayurveda charts will actually recognize you. You will have rough skin, your eyes will tell you. So actually all these products really are helping the Vata dosh particularly, purely because of being oleaginous in nature. how do we select the medicine? So actually speaking, if you look at the 7 types of products that we have, like for example, pumpkin seed oil or black seed oil or whatever oil you take, being a oil, they have the same property to, correct your vata dosha. But they will have their own, depending upon the bioactive they have. For example, black seed oil has thymoquinone, now which is very well known to really help your metabolic syndrome part. So I think depending upon that, they normally suggest that you should take this oil particularly. For example, hing oil. If you have an abdominal problem or gut issues, you can take hing oil. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank
One
you.
more question I want to ask. How you extracted into oil, just like hing, we see it's solid product. Moringa leaves, it is also leaves. You know? So how you extracted, how you converted into oil? That want to just know how extraction you have done from that.
Okay. So couple of these oils are cold pressed oils. They are virgin cold pressed. Couple of oils actually have used some technology of extraction. So honestly, that's what the challenge I was talking about. In fact, because of the time constraint, honestly speaking, this should be a part of the curriculum in the oil technology at the graduation level. But that will be helpful for the industry.
Then you get moringa seed oil.
Moringa.
That is liquid. That is liquid. But what was he asking was, if you have taken it from leaves, then how can you take it out? So that is probably a steam distillation process. You have to take it out from a steam distillation process.
Yes, I mean, so different parts of the plant normally you will use as per the oil. So actually, honestly, it is not-
Property remains same or not? Suppose moringa, a lot of things are there, leaves, you know? So many things are there, fruit, in this domestic, what you call. So property changes actually from
Certainly.
leaves.
I think it is applicable in even
Seed.
ashwagandha case also. If you
Yeah.
take it from the root,
Yeah.
like, or you take it from the, the other parts of the plant.
So which particular part is you have extracted? Is it matching with that property or not?
I think maybe we can discuss this online. मेरा book technology बहुत अच्छी नहीं है.
One line.
मुझे कठिन स्थिति मत
I am
डालिए.
replying in one line actually. Fatty acid.
ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है.
मैं एक लाइन में रिप्लाई कर देता हूँ इनका.
जी जी.
फैटी एसिड कंपोजिशन दोनों केसेस में एक रहती है, लेकिन इम्प्योरिटीज स्टीम डिस्टिलेशन ऑयल में कम होंगी. That will be more purer.
Okay.
Okay, thank you
Thank you
very
very
much,
much.
Mr. Tiwari, for a wonderful talk. You have touched the very important topic and you can correlate the technology with the health sector. This is my appeal to the present head of department also to please do something to induct more courses or the content related to the health sector in the oil technology discipline courses. It will be better because it will impact for about 145 crore people of the country. So thank you very much. Our next speaker is Mr. Dr. Sandeep Jain from the Godrej. He will be talking on surfactant and sustainability, growing concerns and the need of a futuristic approach. Let me brief his biodata. Mr. Sandeep Jain is a formulation technologist and has been associated with the FMCG research and development for 13 plus years. He has worked extensively on surfactants being used in diverse product categories at multiple organizations including Reckitt Benckiser, India Private Limited, Dower India Limited and Godrej Consumers Product Limited. He is currently leading the personal care research in the R&D team at GCPL. Yes, please.
Thank you,
Dr.
sir.
Jain.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to start by thanking Dr. Yadav, the organizing committee of OleoCon 2025 and HBTU for giving us this opportunity. The topic of my presentation is surfactants and sustainability, growing concerns and need of a futuristic approach. When we talk of consumer products, there has been a lot of attention to sustainability aspects of oils for food, silicones, polymers, petroleum products, preservatives, antimicrobials, and many more. On the other hand side, surfactants, even after being the largest cosmetic ingredient category, is relatively less tended. In this talk, we'll see the growing concerns around use of surfactants due to their environmental impacts, and we expect this to be a food for thought to come up with a futuristic approach to tackle this challenge. So, to, uh, to give you the idea, by the time I complete this presentation, 630, more than 630 tons of surfactants will be consumed globally. But can we think of our life without surfactants? Surfactants are integral part of our life, starting from body washing to skin care, to food, to agriculture, to pharmaceuticals, to even petrochemical industry. Surfactants are present everywhere. So the answer is no. So what can we do? Let us discuss this in the coming slides. If we see the global production of surfactants, it has doubled between year 2000 to 2017. In year 2000, 7 million tons of surfactants were being produced, while in 2017 it has went up to 14.1 million tons. And in 2022, globally we produced 16.64 million tons of surfactants. And it is estimated that it grew by whopping 18% post that. So in this slide, I'm showing you the major contributors of the surfactant pollution. These are the surfactants that we see in almost every product that is around us. We can see that all 4 categories of surfactants are contributing to the pollution in aquatic environment and the terrestrial environment. Now, the surface activity against the biomembrane leads to ecotoxicity of the surfactants. Now, QSAR studies have shown that the toxicity increases if the hydrophobic chain size increases. The anionic surfactants induce inflammatory response and oxidative stress to aquatic organisms. The cationic surfactants are known to cause severe detrimental impact on aquatic species. The non-ionic surfactants themselves are least toxic, but the metabolites and the decomposition products from these are known as endocrine disruptors in fishes. The surfactants have also been reported to bioaccumulate in aquatic species, including green microalgae, diatoms, and crustaceans. Now, the surfactants are known to cause pollution in both abiotic and biotic components of environment. Let us first see how it impacts the abiotic components. Now, the surfactants in soil cause water repellence and decrease in hydraulic conductivity. The irrigating soil with surfactant contaminated water also leads to increased electrical conductivity, which further alters the soil salinity and water storage capacity. Both these activities lead to decreasing the fertility of soil. Now, surfactants, whatever we do in our waste treatment plants, the surfactants are incompletely degraded from the wastewater treatment of effluents and are released as such in water bodies. And it is proven by science that concentrations above 0.1 milligrams per liter cause huge and persistent foaming, which leads to decreased oxygen concentration in water bodies. Now, oxygen absorption by aquatic organisms also gets disturbed, and hydrological cycle also gets disturbed. Groundwater contamination is another challenge that comes from the industrial and municipal waste leaching into the land. Now let's see some examples of how surfactants impact the biotic component of environment. Now, increased in concentration of surfactant in soil leads to altered degradation potential of microbes. So the microbes that degrade the pollutants in soil, their degradation potential decreases, which further leads to enhancement of pollution. Anionic surfactants bind with bacterial DNA, while the cationic surfactants interact with microbial biomembranes and cause major detrimental impacts. The toxic effect of surfactants are due to their ability to interact with biomembranes in aquatic organisms and their capability to bind with various biomolecules. Surfactants also break chlorophyll and delay the aquatic plant metabolism and growth. Fishes are very sensitive to xenobiotics, and quick accumulation of surfactants in water bodies may lead to disruption of their sight and also the gill damages. So what can we do? So an integrated futuristic approach is needed where the policy makers, industry, and the future brain creators, that is academia, we come together and support the surfactant pollution, decrease of surfactant pollution together. Government bodies may input into the better control over industrial effluents by providing better enactments policies. They may also develop better waste treatment infrastructure. Industry can contribute by using a sustainable approach to product development, proper industrial waste treatment, and increasing the consumer awareness to prevent rampant usage of surfactants. Academia, while on the other hand side, can promote development of more sustainable surfactant technologies, can promote greener chemistries leading to generation of less surfactant wastes, and promoting biosurfactant technologies. Now let's talk about an example. My example is on how the misinformation on palm oil can impact environment and why industry should promote right information and consumer education. After the ban of palm oil in Iceland in 2018, a sharp spike was seen in the negative PR around the use of palm oil, with a focus on deforestation and orangutan endangerment. But from the scientific data, I'm talking from the scientific data and literature that is available in public domain, palm is a uniquely productive and sustainable crop. I'll be giving two facts to support this statement. Palm is 6 to 10 times more efficient in oil producing per hectare basis. For example, palm gives on average basis 3.8 tons oil per hectare against, say, in case of soybean, which is 0.5 tons, half a ton per hectare. The second point is it provides 40% of global vegetable oil supply while just occupying 5.5% of global cropland for oil crops. So 40% of global supply, global demand, by just using 5.5% of total land available for oil crops. Specific to cosmetic sectors, the palm oil use started to move away from fossil fuels. Saturated fats are the best feedstock for surfactant production because these can be easily modified, and there was already so much palm production. With palm kernel available as a waste, palm kernel oil is a good source of saturated fats, and thus chemical sector created the value in this waste product, and we created it as a co-product. Cosmetic sector is already supporting this disproportionately RSPO for sustainable production of palm oil. So if I think the palm oil is an incredibly sustainable product. Now at Godrej Consumer Products Limited, we explore environmental impact of all our developments by life cycle assessment. This study is carried out with a cradle to grave approach to determine the complete impact of product life cycle on the environment. When I say cradle to grave, we determine the environmental impact of our raw materials. Even before that, how the feedstocks required for these raw materials are sourced and how these impact the environment, and then how the product will be used by consumer and how the waste created by the product will be disposed of to environment. So a complete product's life cycle approach is used. Now let me give two examples. So one of our recent development, which is powder to liquid technology, the Magic Hand Wash, it is a very sustainable product. While the formulation is comprising of sustainable surfactants, it is having 50% less plastics and it uses 50% less fuel as compared to the generic products in market. Same way, the Magic Floor Cleaner product, the formulation is absolutely sustainable. Along with that, it uses less plastics and less fuel in its making. Now, doing justice, as these topics have been touched by many of the learned speakers earlier, I'll quickly move over. Academia can support in developing more green chemistries and promotion of these, so that the less wastes are produced and we can have greener products. Academia can also support scalability and promotion of biosurfactant technologies which produce surfactants that are less harmful to environment, can quickly biodegrade and leave less impacts on environmental health. With this, I'm concluding my talk. Thank you so much. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Let me invite one quick question from the audience, if any. If not, then thank you very much for the nice talk.
Thank you, sir.
Now I invite the next speaker, Mr. Vineet Gupta. Mr. Vineet Gupta is presently employed with RSPL as an Associate Vice President for the Home and Personal Care Division. Earlier employed with Godrej Consumer Product Limited, he earned a BTech in Oil Technology from HBTU Kanpur. He completed executive post-graduation in management from Symbiosis Pune and holding key roles in oleochemicals, soap industry, detergent, cosmetics, in manufacturing, quality assurance and control, project management, etc. So please, I invite Mr. Vineet Gupta. Please continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me for the talk. So I will be talking about the sustainability part in soap technology. So the general manufacturing trend, it is not relevant to soap technology as per se. It is better processes engineering, which will lead to a compact plant and machinery. We need less area and there is a limited in-process storage facility that we need. And second general trend is regarding this smart manufacturing and automation, which maybe you can say IoT, development of black factories like concept has been is in the progress. So this is being done through effective and efficient process controls, and there is a minimal manual intervention, and thus there is a less number of manpower requirement. So sensitivity with regard to ESG has also increased immensely, which has resulted in lower utility consumption, lower water consumption. So these are the trends which is prevailing in soap industry also. So this is a conventional layout and this is a modified layout. So you can see storage which has been marked in red. More or less in nowadays these storage are not given, or as of it they are given. There is very minimal amount of storage that we do it for WIP process. And this almost all processes are being automated, and say like automation in mixer we used to dose manually, now it is an auto dosing system with connected PLC system with IoT, inbuilt IoT system. And then the three processes of simplex plotter, roll mill and duplex plotter has been combined into one, which is called multi-refiner plotter or a triplex plotter. And stamping and wrapping machines, we can say there is a direct transfer mechanism which has been placed on the shop floor, and this has resulted in the area which is required is less. Moreover, these two machines look like a one machine in itself. And there is a auto cartoning and a packing machine, so no manpower is required for manual packing. And for manual stacking also, now we are using a most of the industry which are coming up with a new plant, they are using a cobot for storing these things. As far as chemical complex is concerned, so soap plant is, as you know, is divided into chemical complex and a soap finishing line. So chemical complex, the latest is we use less amount of area in the FSP column for increasing the temperature. So there is a inbuilt heat exchanger which is given outside the column, which increases the temperature to 135 and 135 degrees centigrade. Thereby, as and when the oil is entered in the column, the splitting starts thereafter. So usually, previously it was 90 to 95 degrees centigrade, and water feed content has been reduced to say around 50%. So the energy requirement has been limited. Moreover, what we get is a very concentrated glycerine part. So glycerine concentration is being increased by use of pre-concentrator and reduced water concentration. So it has, in the case, if we use as a soap blend, it goes as high as 20% or 22%. So in FADP, there is a, in terms of which a very efficient heat and mass transfer system has been designed. So excellent reflux system is being provided. Generally, as of now also, people are using two column, pre-cut and distiller, but with advanced process systems or engineering, the time will come in near future, we will be using only one column, and as of now also, if there is a good quality of feed, we can use one column. So continuous saponification plant, here we can use neutral oil also, refined bleached deodorized neutral oil if it is available, this can be used. And what the glycerine what we use at the later stage, it can be an integral part in the noodle stage in itself. So refined bleached, so it is suitable for, as of now, this is suitable for fatty acids as well as a combination of fatty acid and a neutral oil. So this is a continuous saponification plant. Here you can see there are only one pump has been given. So the entire CSP is being run by one pump. So less number of moving parts are there. So this is energy conservation which has been inculcated into the process. Moreover, the barometric condensers, semi-barometric condenser column is being given, so there is no wastage of water in the system. All the water is being recovered. So if you talk of CSP, dosing system is automated or semi-viscous liquid can be added. There is a precise measurement and blending system. At the heart of the reaction is this temperature is being maintained at around 130-135 degrees centigrade at a pressure of around 3 bar. So less amount of energy is being used, and there is a vacuum drying with a tangential spray system which is being given in the process, and it is a closed loop cooling system, thereby there is minimal amount of water loss in the system. Major advantage of this CSP is steam consumption is on a lower side, it's around 30 to 35 kg per ton of soap noodle, and power consumption is around 22 to 23 kWh per metric ton. Almost negligible effluent and almost zero fine escape. It is being done through negligible soap fine formation and efficient soap fine recovery that we have seen in the PPT, previous slide. If we talk of soap plant, soap finishing, typically this was the soap finishing line, and as of now the latest soap finishing line it was horizontal, now it is more of a vertical. It goes as, the height is around up to 16 meters, it goes as high as that. So we use lot of, save lot of energy in that. And the hallmark of this lines are the use of multi-refiner plotter. So this is a multi-refiner plotter. So this multi-refiner plotter is divided into 3 parts, and which has got a different L&D ratio. So refining and mixing is almost being done, and even with a higher amount of you can say unsep content, this works very well, and it has a lower operating cost. The spills overs are very less, and perfume losses are very less, and the space requirement is being controlled, and you require less of a manpower as such. So here also IoT system is being given, so there is a real-time monitoring system, precise measurement and blending is being done. So at the heart of the system is a triplex, as I told you, is a multi-refiner plotter. So vacuum refining is being done. So L&D ratio lasts, so duplex plotter, 1 simplex and 1 duplex plotter is combined, plus the roll mill, which 3 machines combined into one is multi-refiner plotter. So this is more or less 50% consume less, 50% less power as compared to the conventional system. As far as quality is concerned, so it can deliver a best of the quality, and it reduces waste in terms of spills over, perfume and operating costs, and we require less of a resources as such, as in power of utility as well as manpower. So overall, if you combine all these things, so you will get a 30% reduction in power consumption per metric ton. You can get around 16% of steam reduction in steam consumption, and almost 60% of the manpower per metric ton can be reduced. So this is all from my side. Thanks a lot for your patience hearing. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Gupta. I invite 1 or 2 quick questions from the audience. If there is no question, then you can discuss during lunch period with the speaker. Thank you, Mr. Gupta. Thank you very much for the nice talk. Now our next speaker in the session is Mr. Kekin J. Doshi, Managing Director, Paramount Minerals and Chemicals Limited. We will be talking on polyol-based eco-friendly and sustainable alternative for LEPSA. Let me introduce Mr. Doshi. Mr. Doshi is a techno-commercial professional with more than 3 decades of experience in sales, marketing and market analysis. He has been associated with Paramount Minerals and Chemicals Limited as a marketing head and responsible for selling its entire product range globally. He is jointly monitoring the ongoing innovations in PMCL R&D with the development team to continuously develop new sustainable and biodegradable products like Dolobul for home and personal care industry. With a firm belief in leading through innovation and commitment to sustainability, they offer green surfactomer, the partial replacement for anionic surfactant for better cost control and price stability. Yes, I invite Mr. Doshi for the talk.
Afternoon guest, I'm Kekin Doshi from Paramount Minerals and Chemicals. At the onset, I'd like to thank HBTU, Mr. Yadav, for organizing this great event and providing us an opportunity to present eco-friendly, sustainable alternative for LAPSA on this great platform. In the past sessions, a lot has been shared on the use of sustainable technology to be used in oil, oleochemicals, laundry, and home care industry. So taking this forward, I would like to introduce our innovative polyol-based surfactant technology, sustainable economy, cost-effective alternative for LAPSA for home, laundry, and personal care industry. In the next couple of slides, we are going to share technical details of product highlighting the inspirational study conducted using this technology replacing LAPSA partially in detergent powder formulations. To start with, Paramount is a company promoted under CRM Silk Mills Group, and our promoters are Sangai and Podar family. And we have a factory in Ambernath, and our office is located in Lower Parel, Mumbai, with employee strength of 120 people, annual turnover close to 240 crores INR. And we have been servicing detergent industry from past over 3 decades by supplying optical brighteners and polymers. And shared on the screen, you can see some of our key customers, which are, few of them are multinational, local detergent market leaders. In the slides, delegates, I have shared with you the price movement of LAPSA from last over 8 years, 7 to 8 years. If you can see in 2018, LAPSA was something around 270 rupees per kg, and today it is touched almost 122. And there has been this roller coaster ride in this product price, and a lot of factors which affect this are, of course, starting with the volatility of crude, ongoing Ukraine war, fragile eco-political scenario in Middle East, and of course demand-supply gap, shortfall in local productions has further compounded the challenge and the reasons for price escalations. And LAPSA has been actually a primary surfactant in laundry and home care industry for over last 60 years. Its dominance has been barely challenged. We have had some alternatives like MES, APG. They have still not effectively been accepted in the formulations in today's market. And LAPSA, due to its cost, import dependency, and price performance parity, a lot of even products like MES, which are dependent and fluctuation because of the palm oil prices, might not be a suitable alternative to LAPSA. As well, if you can see, the formulators are challenged with the price rise of soda ash, which has kind of almost doubled up in last 4 to 5 years. And this is likely to move up further because there has been a growing demand for soda ash in paper, glass industry, and the rising energy cost. And another devil in disguise has been the US dollar. From the low of 63 in January 2018, today it's hovering around at almost 87 a kg. Almost more than whopping 35% increase against Indian rupee. And with the full convertibility rupee in the cards, this can go up in the future furthermore. And of course, import of LAP becoming expensive, LAPSA as down the line will cost more, and Indian good ports will go up further. This is just a small detail I've shared with you of the growing global detergent market, which is currently at about 14 billion US dollar. And in coming years, it's going to be, by 2032, predicted to be increasing to $44 billion with a rise of almost 15%. Detergent market currently hovering around at $5.2 billion and is likely to reach at about a growth of 5% annually. The consumers nowadays are becoming more and more aware about the environmental impact of the products they are using, and detergent is one of the part of that. So eco-friendly detergents are the way forward and can see a considerable growth in coming future, India and across the globe. In this scenario, what we offer is a polyol-based, eco-friendly, sustainable alternative which can address this challenge. Biodegradability of synthetic surfactant has been a growing concern of the regulatory bodies over the years. And a lot has been done, R&D, to develop an eco-friendly, sustainable alternative to synthetic surfactants. Polyol-based can be an alternative as it contains more than 80% of material along with polymer glucosides and some uniquely proprietary performant adhesives. So Dolobul range of polyable surfactant is a green, sustainable alternative and partially replace LAPSA in detergent formulations, up to 40% weight by weight replacement, and having vis-a-vis performance at par with better cost control and price stability to the manufacturers. And in current volatile market scenario, rising forest costs, rising price, ever-growing competition, key challenges faced by the industry could be minimized with the use of this cost-effective LAPSA alternative with long-term price stability. And delegates, additionally, this product provides also an additional advantage of optimizing and eliminating homo and copolymers from your detergent formulations. So we offer Dolobul as eco-friendly, cost-effective, sustainable alternative to LAPSA with a long-term price stability. Moving forward, what we have shared in this slide is a study conducted, a performance study conducted with Dolobul incorporated in different formulations and compared against some of the market mid-premium, lower and premium economy products. Shade is the first product is volume-based high market leader, premium with active detergency for almost 16 to 18%. Number 2 is a medium grade product with 14 to 16%. Third is a representative mass market products which are more commonly known as popular grades of detergent. And sample 4 and sample 5, they are formulated with 10% LAPSA and adding our product. As you can see, the Dolobul range about 2%, and in formulation of 5, it is about added in 8% active at 2%. With this product, we have performed a wash performance test on some of the commonly found stains. And in this, what we have used is a stain which is IS 57085. And on this stain, we have done a wash test where you can see the premium market product is having a total wash count of 407. The mid premium is at 341. Against that, if you can see the bar, the second last and the last bar, where the product of being 10 AD plus 2% Dolobul is measuring up to a performance of a 16-18% product or a 14% product. With the products, again, to highlight you, draw your attention, guest here, is that the product number 1 and 2 are with better other performance additives like better dosage of enzyme, better chelating agents, and additionally better optical brightener dosages. Still we measure up in terms of performance against it. So it can be tested in a lab that at 14% detergent with 2% of that can give you a better performance than an 18% detergent. Here I have highlighted certain key features of Dolobul, which has a very good advantages. So it can substitute LAPSA in any formulation, whether it's bar, liquid, dishwash, and powders, spray, and dry mix. It is cost effective, price stable, and of course sustainable product. Additionally, it lowers the surface tension and brings more value addition in the formulation, lowers ash deposition, improves bulk density, improves aesthetic appearance of the detergent because product is clear liquid. So the powder and liquid formulated with that are more aesthetically more attractive compared to the other products. Of course, eco-friendly, biodegradable. And India, which is a predominant market for detergent bars, in these bars, the Dolobul gives an added advantage of enhancing the binding in detergents and reducing the sogginess. So the user can have a long experience. In dishwash, Dolobul effectively cleans all type of messes or stubborn food spills. As we know, Indian food is one of the most kind of abusive and not easy to be cleaned. So what it complements is that clean with ease. Usually all the dishwash ads you see are, okay, we remove chiknai 1 minute mein nikal jati hai. This kind of complements that ad where the grease can be removed effectively with what's just a stroke of the product here. Again, effective and additionally no skin, eye irritancy and gentle on hands. In this slide, you can see from the picture, as mentioned earlier, Dolobul is a clear liquid compared to Lapsa, as seen in the photograph. Also shared over here is some of our product list, which we are offering to the laundry, home care, and some of the categories of the products shared here are also in the personal care industry. To summarize, and the last slide, where the Dolobul advantage. So currently, the product is priced at 80 to 85 per kg plus GST ex factory, compared to the current price of Lapsa at hovering around at 120. Our product offers the saving in current scenario of rupees 30 per kg. This can be further discounted if the packing is in a form of tanker. In future, the Lapsa prices, even if they come down in the range of 100, Dolobul still remains an attractive offer for cost saving. And as you know, delegates, the rising input costs has always have and remain the growing concern of global multinational giant, local pan-India brands, regional players, and with ever-growing customer expectations of better performing products at lower prices, challenges from the regulatory authorities, competition, puts Dolobul and adhering to the government standard at an edge over the current Lapsa price. And this product, we offer Dolobul as a sustainable cost-saving price stability criteria very highly. Delegate, thank you so much for your patient hearing, and I appreciate your time, cooperation. And if there is any question, we can move forward with that.
Thank you, Mr. Doshi. Yes, question please.
Anybody?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. Dolobul is your product. Okay. Dolobul is your product.
Yes, sir.
And it is made of polyol and soda ash. Polyol and soda ash you are using?
No soda ash.
Yeah.
There are some polyol based plus surfactants, polymer. It's a blend. It's a proprietary blend.
Which type of blends those are? Which type of blends those are? What is the chemical structure of?
I would share this when we take this discussion further, because as I said, it's a proprietary blend. So anything when we do.
I mean, you could take common names like sulfates, sulfonates, something of that kind. I mean, what are you using in that?
Yes, so polyol basically we've used sorbitol, we have used some surfactants. So it's a blend, as I said.
A blend of sorbitol, sorbitan, and
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it reduces the consumption also.
As I said, it does not. We are a weight by weight replacement of Lapsa.
Weight by weight replacement.
Yeah, so it will definitely give an advantage in terms of saving, in terms of cost reduction.
How much cost reduction will be? Suppose we save 2 kg out of 10 kg. What will be the cost reduction?
So see, every detergent is an impromptu formulation, but overall, if we see, the cost saving, if you are using 20 to 30%, it could save up to 30 to 40 paisa kg per product, per kg. Yeah. And again, in the format they are buying. So if they are buying in a tanker packing, then there is a further saving. Yeah, and
I mean, it's in bulk buying only.
Yeah, and in current scenario, your Lapsa price is 120. So I am saving at 30 rupees. But tomorrow, if the prices move up further, that would get amplified further up. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you very much. So our last speaker is Dr. Abhinav Pathak from Fair Labs. Let me introduce the audience with Dr. Pathak. Dr. Pathak is a molecular biologist specializing in a real-time PCR-based testing, food authenticity, and pathogen detection. Currently serving as the departmental head of the molecular biology section at Fair Labs. He has extensive expertise in GMO detection, vegan testing, bacterial toxin identification, and milk adulteration analysis. He is an authorized signatory for biological sciences under ISO 17025-2017 and serves as the technical manager for the proficiency testing and inspection services. Dr. Pathak holds a PhD in biotechnology from APJ Kalam Technical University and has prior research experience at NABL, FSSAI, APEDA, and EIC. He has authored multiple research publications in peer-reviewed journals and presented at national and international conferences. His technical skills spans molecular biology, microbiology, bioinformatics, and enzymatic assays, making him a key contributor to advancements in food safety and molecular diagnostics. So, I welcome Dr. Pathak for the talk.
Thank you, sir.
So, time allotted to you is 15 minutes. Please
Yes.
try to bind up because that will be lunch time and
Sure,
people
sir.
will be cursing you for that if you delay. Thank you very much.
So the topic of my presentation is a rapid and cost-effective duplex real-time PCR method for screening the genetically modified organisms in the oil sheets and edible oil, aiming to improve the value chains in the oil sheet productions as well as enhancing the oil quality. So firstly, I want to tell what are the genetically modified organisms. It is a living organism whose genetic material has been artificially manipulated in the laboratory through the genetic engineering process. So in this we can insert the gene, modify the gene.
Hello,
or we-
hello. Please go closer to the mic.
So I want to tell what are the genetically modified organisms. So it is a living organisms whose genetic material has been artificially manipulated in the laboratory using the genetic engineering. So in this gene is artificially manipulated in the means of insertion, deletion, specific gene to get the particular trait. So genetically modified organisms are also called the living modified organisms. And the application of this technology is to express to like the herbicide resistance, increase the shelf life of products or enhance the nutritional activity. So genetically modified crops, particularly if we talk about the oil sheets like soya bean, canola, cotton sheets are engineered to improve the artificial agriculture productivity. These modifications enhance the resistance to the pest as herbicides as well as the insecticides or also to the environmental stress. The introduction of genetically modified crops in the food supply has raised concerns about the food safety, environmental impact as well as the consumer rights. So for this regard, many countries have put their regulations for the labeling of the genetically modified ingredients in the food products. So this criteria demand for the reliable and efficient method to detect and quantify the genetically modified content in the oil sheets as well as in the edible oil. So this is the global status of cultivation of the genetically modified crops in various countries. Like if we talk about the USA, in the USA, alfalfa, apple is the genetically modified crops for the herbicide tolerance as well as the anti-brushing and the browsing, anti-browsing. Likewise, the canola is a genetically modified for the Canada, USA. Cotton is genetically modified the USA, India, Pakistan. So like these are the some genetic modified crops which are grown in different countries. So what are the advantages of the genetically modified crops? So it improves the production as well as raise the farmer income. Then make the food supply safer by reducing the use of pesticide as well as insecticides during the farming. It can produce in a small area as compared to the normal crops. So these crops can dramatically increase the yields so it can feed a rapid growing population. So these all are the advantages of the genetically modified crops. If you talk about the operations of the genetically modified crops, so inadequate safety assessments and health hazards, several studies has come for Bacillus thuringiensis cotton, that is a GMO crop, such as itching in the skin, eruptions on the body, swollen faces, etc. Secondly, the soil fertility using the genetically modified, the soil fertility is decreasing day by day. Then pesticide and insecticide resistance, this disrupt our ecological environmental balance cycles. Now talking about the regulations, what are the regulations toward the genetically modified foods? So in India, Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee, that is GAC, is an apex body that allows the commercial release of genetically modified crops in India. So in 2002, GAC, that is the Genetically Engineering Appraisal Committee, has allowed the commercial release of the Bacillus thuringiensis cotton in India. If you are using unapproved GM variant in the India, it can be jail for 5 years or fine for the 1 lakh under the Environmental Protection Act 1989. So in India, in 2020, FSI has laid the draft regulation for the genetically modified foods and states that 1% GM content should not be more than 1% as per the FSI regulations. If we talk about the European countries, so GM content should not be more than 0.9%, and it should be labeled to ensure for the variety for the consumers. For the United States, there is a body National Bioengineering Food Disclosure Standard that states genetically modified crops can be labeled as a bioengineered in the form of text symbol or digital link. Likewise, the Brazil has given the regulation it should not be more than 1% for the GM content. Likewise, Japan has given GM content should not be 5% as per food sanitation law. Now, I'm going to talk about what are the methods for the genetically modified directions. So earlier it was a protein-based testing based on the ELISA-Pace method, strip test, and now coming to the DNA-based testing, that is a emerging science that is come under the conventional PCR, then LAMP, loop-mediated isothermal PCR, real-time PCR, that is the cyber green and TACMAN probe. Now the latest PCR has come, the duplex real-time PCR. So real-time PCR has become a gold standard for the genetically modified directions due to their sensitivity, specificity, and ability to quantify the low level of the genetically modified DNA. Single-plex real-time PCR assays are the time-consuming, expensive, especially when multiple target has to be screened. So in the GM content, we are targeting for more than 2 genetic elements as well as the plant endogenous gene. So for this, we have used the new technology that is a duplex real-time PCR. In this, we can simultaneously amplify all the different genes in a single plex reaction. That will faster and most cost-effective for the high throughput screening. The proposed assay is optimized for the sensitivity, specificity, and reproducibility, and is applicable to both raw oil sheets as well as the edible oils. So I want to tell that for this method, we have designed our own markers. We are not depend on the commercial kits, because the commercial kit is too much cost. It is more than, if you talk for TV can run the 40 samples, it may cost about 2 lakhs per kit. So we have designed the markers in our own lab that is very cost effective, that we can detect more than 2,000 samples using these markers. So the marker is designed on the TACMAN probe-based chemistry, and we have used different in silico softwares to design the markers and then validate the markers in our lab. We are targeting the 2 genetic elements, that is the CAM35S promoter as well as the NOS terminator. So for the CAM35S promoter, we have taken from the coliform mosaic virus, and for the NOS terminator, we have taken from the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. So these are the 2 genetic elements. If we can detect these 2 elements, so we can tell the either sample or a food product is genetically modified or not. So we have validated the method in our laboratory. The validation is based on the sensitivity, determine the limit of detection to a particular matrix. Then specificity, we have used the 2 genetic elements, CAM35S promoter and NOS terminator. Then specificity of the marker, we have tested both in silico as well as experimentally. We have determined the specificity, then reproducibility and repeatability. We have taken the validation method from the Codex Alimentarius guidelines, and we have validated all this in our laboratory. So this is a flow chart by which we are doing regularly the GM testing in our labs. This is the GM detection using the duplex real-time PCR. First, we are taking the samples. Then initial processing of the samples, we homogenize the samples to get the uniform size of the samples. Then we are doing the DNA extraction from the samples. DNA extraction can be done both kit-based or manually. Then quantification of the DNA. For the quantification of the DNA, we are using the fluorometer machine that quantify how much amount of DNA you have get from the particular matrix. Then we are starting the PCR master mix reactions. In the PCR master mix reactions, we are adding the different Taq polymerase, water, DNTPs, markers in a reaction. Lastly, we add the template DNA. Then we are performing the programs in the PCR machines and then setting the reactions. It takes about 2 to 3 hours to run the program. Then lastly, we analyze the data and provide the sample is positive or negative toward the genetically modified. So this is the methodology. What I have told, we are collecting the samples, we are taking the sample. Then we have designed the primer and probes. We have validated all these primer and probes in our laboratory, both in silico as well as cellco. Then optimize the PCR reaction for particular matrix in the different matrix. And lastly, we do the data analysis. So these are the outcome of our method. If we talk about the sensitivity, so we have taken both samples, genetically modified oil sheets as well as the non-genetically modified oil sheets, and we have spiked with a different concentration of certified reference material at 10%, 5%, 1%, 0.1%, and lastly the 0.05%. So our limit of detection was 0.1%. We can achieve up to 0.1%. We can detect the GM content up to 0.1%. Then if we talk about the specificity, so we have done both theoretically as well as experimentally. Theoretically, we have taken the sequence blast in the NCBI database, and it shows 100% similarity with the DNA sequence of genetic elements present in the database of the NCBI. And experimentally, we have taken the two different samples, GM oil sheets as well as the oils, and also the non-GMO sheets. We have taken these markers to amplify whether they are specific and not specific. So it shows 100% similarity between the GM matrix. Then lastly, for the reproducibility and repeatability, it was compliance with the acceptance criteria that is less than 25%. So what is the significance of work? This technology is a cost-effective and rapid. So in singleplex, earlier in the singleplex PCR, we are targeting a single gene. Then that is a time-consuming as well as the wastage of chemical. And the duplex repeatable PCR is a quick method, economical method for screening the GM oil sheets as well as the double oils. Then this is reliable and efficient, and it is highly sensitive and sensitivity and it shows the highly specificity earlier to the singleplex PCR. And this technology is applicable to both raw and processed oil products, oil sheets. And it also supports to the regulatory guidelines both nationally and internationally, and promote the transparency in the food supply chain that ensures the consumer can make the informed choices. Lastly, I want to tell that we at the Fair Labs is the PT provider, that is the processing testing provider for GM testing as per 17043. In India, we are the second lab for the PT provider for the GM detection. And we are also accredited as per 17025 for the GM testing, as well as we are also recognized from the EIC EPIDA for the GM testing. So this is all about my presentation. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Pathak. Any question from audience? If there is no question, we call it a day for this particular session. I am thankful to my co-chair of the session, Mr. Joshi, all the speakers of the session, and most importantly, the audience who gave the patient hearing, to all the presentations, to all the talks with full vigor, enthusiasm. Thank you one and all, and this session is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And I would like to request everyone to please join us for the lunch. And I also request our panel to please join us here again on the dais after the lunch so that we can continue with the session. Thank you so much, sir. Sorry for the inconvenience, everyone. Before ending, we will begin with the memento session and then we'll proceed for the lunch. As a token of our appreciation and gratitude, we would now like to felicitate with our mementos. So I request Professor V.K. Tyagi sir to kindly present the memento to Mr. Satyadev Tiwari sir. I request Shri C.S. Joshi sir to kindly present the memento to Dr. Sandeep Jain sir. I request Professor V.K. Tyagi sir to kindly present the memento to Mr. Vineet Gupta sir. I request Shri C.S. Joshi sir to kindly present the memento to Mr. Kekinji Doshi sir. I request Professor V.K. Tyagi sir to kindly present the memento to Dr. Abhinav Pathak sir.
Now, I request the chairman of Oleocon, Dr. Prabeen Yadav sir, to kindly present the memento to our co-chairperson, Sri C.S. Joshi sir. Next, I request Prabeen Yadav sir to kindly present the memento to our chairperson, Professor B.K. Tyagi sir. Thank you so much, everyone. Please join for lunch.